Emily Carter always believed her family was solid, the kind of family people envied from the outside. Her mother, Laura Carter, was warm, composed, and respected in their quiet Ohio town. Laura had raised Emily mostly on her own after her husband passed away years earlier. To Emily, her mother was strength personified, dependable, moral, and unshakable. At 20 years old, Emily felt like her life was finally falling into place. College was going well, and she was in a serious relationship with Ryan Mitchell, her boyfriend of nearly 2 years. Ryan was 22, kind, ambitious, and deeply supportive. He often came over for dinner, helped with errands, and had earned Laura's trust. Maybe too much of it. At first, nothing seemed wrong. Laura noticed Ryan in ways she told herself were harmless. She admired his politeness, his attentiveness, the way he listened when she spoke. It had been many years since anyone had looked at her with genuine interest. After losing her husband, Laura had buried herself in motherhood, routines, and responsibility. Loneliness crept in quietly, disguising itself as normalcy. Ryan, on the other hand, admired Laura for different reasons. She wasn't just Emily's mother, she was thoughtful, calm, and carried a maturity that made him feel understood. Their conversations started innocently. Sometimes Emily would step out, and Laura and Ryan would continue talking in the kitchen. They spoke about work, loss, and the pressures of adulthood. They told themselves it was harmless. But emotional boundaries are often crossed long before anyone notices. Emily began sensing small changes. Ryan became distracted, distant. Laura seemed unusually guarded, always checking her phone, ending conversations abruptly. Family dinners grew tense without explanation. When Emily asked if something was wrong, both assured her everything was fine. They were lying. What neither Laura nor Ryan expected was how quickly emotional closeness could spiral into something dangerous. A moment of vulnerability turned into shared secrets. Shared secrets turned into private meetings. Nothing physical happened at first, but the betrayal had already begun. They both knew it was wrong. They both knew it would destroy Emily. And yet, neither stopped. Guilt consumed Laura. She barely slept, replaying every conversation in her mind. She tried to convince herself she could end it quietly, that Emily never had to know. Ryan struggled too, torn between love for Emily and a confusing attachment he didn't know how to break. Everything unraveled on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Emily came home early from campus, her plans cancelled unexpectedly. She walked into the house and heard voices in the living room, hushed, urgent. When she turned the corner, she saw her mother and Ryan standing far too close, their faces frozen in shock. Nothing explicit had happened in that moment, but Emily didn't need explanations. The truth hit her like a wave. Silence filled the room, thick and unbearable. Laura broke down immediately, tears streaming as she tried to explain, to apologize, to undo what could never be undone. Ryan stood there, ashamed, unable to meet Emily's eyes. Emily felt something shatter inside her. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She simply walked out. In the days that followed, Emily cut off contact with Ryan completely. The relationship was over without discussion. With her mother, things were more complicated. Laura wrote letters she never sent. She left messages Emily didn't answer. The house felt hollow without her daughter's laughter. Months passed. Emily moved into her own apartment near campus. She focused on healing, therapy, and rebuilding her sense of trust. The betrayal hurt deeply, but it also taught her hard truths about boundaries and human weakness. Laura, meanwhile, faced the consequences of her actions. She sought counseling, confronting the loneliness and unresolved grief that had clouded her judgment. She took full responsibility, knowing forgiveness might never come. 1 year later, Emily agreed to meet her mother for coffee. The conversation was painful, slow, and honest. Laura didn't excuse herself. She didn't justify her choices. She apologized, not expecting forgiveness, only accountability. Emily didn't forgive her that day. But she listened. Healing didn't happen instantly. It came in fragments, through time, distance, and truth. Their relationship would never be what it once was, but it wasn't completely lost either. Some mistakes leave scars that never fully fade. But they also leave lessons about integrity, boundaries, and the cost of silence. And sometimes, survival isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing to grow beyond it.